What's going on, folks? January 15th, 2026. The Qs had a really interesting day. I still think there's a lot of power for the Qs to move higher. Here's what I'm looking at. Let me break it down for you right now. So I'm going to pull up the Qs here on the 4-hour chart. And as you can see, we've got quite a few resistance levels that are built into some recent price action. And first, I want to look at where we need to be, right, in order to look at a potential long trade. And that means being right on top of those resistant levels, okay? And that is what, about 628? Well, let's see, about 628, 628.90, all right, is where we could see we've had some issues with QQQ moving, okay, moving higher and sustaining those higher prices. Now look at some lows that have also built into the price action. Again, each one showing that buyers have stepped up and accumulated shares at those higher prices, okay? Set the low, higher low. Set the low, higher low. And then moving on, right? Let's set some lines here because we actually have a trend line developing, okay? And with this trend line developing, we can actually see a pattern forming, okay? We actually broke that trend line yesterday, okay? We actually broke that trend line yesterday, the 14th, but look at how buyers stepped up to bring it back into play. And you have a beautiful pattern here being created, and this is what's called an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle is a pattern that shows that buyers are still very much building higher for a powerful move above to break out of this resistance area of 628, 629. That is why I still believe there's still much to go, right? Assuming that the price action continues the way we think it's going to go per this ascending triangle, which is higher. If this were to break down, beneath this trend line, it's not dead, okay? It doesn't mean that the bears have won and it's time to completely go short, although that would be a potential shorting opportunity if that's the way you were looking at the market. I wouldn't touch this until that previous low of 615, 614 were to break. If we were to break that, then I would definitely say this would be an interesting and potential short here. But again, this ascending triangle with these higher lows set in tells me that we're looking at an exciting breakout possibly happening. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom into the smaller time frame. We can look at today's price action, right? And as you can see here, look at where we stopped at. Okay, look at where we stopped at. So as you can see, everybody's looking at the same charts. Everybody's looking at the same charts. We're exactly where we need to be, but these next couple days, it really requires these buyers to step up and move this higher and break above this resistance level of 629 on QQQ. But once that happens, if you're not in this play right now, that's the only thing you're looking for is 629. That is the only thing you are looking for here is 629. Okay. 628, 629. That's all I'm looking for. You're going to set your, you're going to buy an option in the money somewhere around there, okay? And you're going to hope that this is price action that moves beyond that level, and then if it does pull back, it pulls back and uses 628, 629 as support for higher levels, okay? Using a stop loss that will be maybe 626, 625 at the worst case. But again, you know, that would be what you would do once, of course, QQQ moves above 628, 629. Hey, this is my point of view, folks. If you got anything else to say, leave it in the comments. This is price action. Until next time.